Softly, softly, catchy monkey. This is a phrase I haven't heard since I was a child, and I was reminded of it yesterday, and I actually Googled the term. And with that, today then I was guided to speak about this because this is something I've spoken about before. What it means is slow and steady wins the race. That if we do not rush and if we're not too hasty, then we will eventually achieve our goal. Patience is the key. As humans, we're in such a rush to get to the next step that we feel that we need to be busy all the time. We feel we need to be productive all the time to get further. But sometimes when we rush ahead, this actually slows us down. And taking those baby steps and being patient with ourselves will actually get us there a lot quicker. My name is Angela Cleary and I'm a feminine empowerment coach, and I specialise in healing in narcissistic abuse. The reason I was guided to do this is because I've spoken about this topic before, but because the phrase came up for me yesterday, softly, softly, catchy monkey, and because I was kind of guided this morning because I was feeling these issues myself, I felt like I needed to speak about this. It was only because somebody on the television said, slowly, slowly, I was like, slowly, slowly, catchy monkey. And I Googled the phrase and actually softly, softly, catchy monkey. And I've done videos about being is doing. We are just as productive, if not more productive sometimes, when we sit in the moment, when we relax, and when we take the time and the baby steps towards our goals. We will achieve things a lot quicker. And this morning now, I was in a really low vibration energy this morning, and I was hard on myself. I didn't have any motivation. I was just not in the humor to do anything. And I was punishing myself then, and I was I was giving out to myself saying angry with myself, that I shouldn't be feeling this way, that I should be productive. I should want to do these things. And then all these emotions came up from 10 years ago, and then I realized I'm not just being lazy or procrastinating. I just have some triggers that are resurfacing for me to heal. And that's what I was reminded of. I was like, we're on this healing journey. And we're also trying to pursue our life purpose. But, we're trying to do both at the same time. And that is a really big feat. You know what I mean? And then we're hard on ourselves for not being further along. Hello, we're trying the best we can. I forget that sometimes. And I punish myself then. And I'm like, the trauma that came up for me this morning then, right? And this is why I was triggered into doing this, because I was angry with myself for not being in a good mood. I was angry with myself for procrastinating. I was angry with myself for not being motivated. And I was thinking I was just being lazy, or, there was something wrong, as in I had to be productive. But then when all these emotions came up and my trauma from 10 years ago started resurfacing, and I was just like, oh, thank God I'm just being triggered. And normally when I'm triggered or emotional, obviously I'm not happy about it. But today I was, and I was like, right, so I'm hard on myself because I was in a low mood. But because I realized I actually had some triggers, I'm okay with it. And I was like, I shouldn't be hard on myself in the first place. You know what I mean? I should have understood that the reason I was in a low mood was because I had stuff within me that needed to heal. And that's the thing. We're so hard on ourselves for not pushing ahead bullheaded, let's get this done. We're in this mentality that we have to be doing all the time, that we should be 10 steps ahead. But I was reminded this morning that I'm so much further along in my life than I was 10 years ago. And even 5 years ago, even 1 year ago. And I was kind of like, Jesus Christ, Angela, for fuck's sake, you're so fucking hard on yourself for not being motivated today. But the reason you're not motivated today is because you've got some internal stuff that's resurfacing to heal. Be kinder to yourself. Be patient with yourself. And that's the thing, we're just so hard on ourselves when we're not actually further along. And then when you sit down and think about it, we are further along than we ever thought we could be. We keep forgetting that just because we're so determined to pursue our life purpose, to be of service to others, to help change humanity, to be on our mission, we forget that we're still healing. We forget that we still have to nurture ourselves through this. Like, this spiritual journey, this awakening journey, this healing journey, that's what it is. It's a healing journey. And we can't be over here and further along if we're not doing the inner healing as we go. And that's the thing, I have been kind to myself over the last few years since I've started awakening, since 2018. I have had my being days. I've had those rest days, and I've been kind to myself on those rest days. But because I'm further along now, I feel like I should be even further along. And I don't give myself the patient days. I don't give myself the kinder days. I don't give myself those nurturing days. And I forget that. And the universe keeps guiding me to slow down. A few weeks ago, the universe guided me to slow down to an almost stop. To actually realize I was going too fast. And when you go too fast, when we're just going blindly ahead and not seeing where we're going, we're trying to get to the destination quickly, we end up hitting more roadblocks, we end up hitting more obstacles, and we end up actually slowing ourselves down even further. But when we take the baby steps, when we don't rush, when we're kind to ourselves in between, we actually get things done a lot quicker. And I know this, but it's only when I've been lately I keep pushing forward further because I think I've healed. I'm healed more than I used to be. But I forget that there's still stuff that I need to work on. And I forget to give myself that acknowledgement. And that's what happened with me this morning. I was so low energy. I was feeling unmotivated, and I was angry with myself. And then when all the reasons for that came up, all my triggers resurfaced, all my pain from the past resurfaced, I was like, oh my God, I'm so much further along than I ever thought I could be. And I have to give myself credit for that. The stuff resurfaces from our past. This pain resurfaces because we still have so much more to heal. We heal in layers. We have stuff come up over and over and over again at the level we're able to handle it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't come up for no reason, and then we dismiss it as well. We say, oh, I've healed that, and then we dismiss it. But this is bottling. This is what we do. We bottle it up again. We bury it again. But it resurfaces again until we're ready. And that's the thing, and for me this morning to actually be happy that I had triggers because I was so angry with myself for just being lazy maybe. And I was like, oh, thank God, I actually have stuff to heal. And then I was like, I need to be patient with myself. I need to nurture myself. The universe literally slowed me down to a stop a few weeks ago. And I started to go at a snail's pace again. But what did I do? I started to speed up again. And this week again, the universe is telling me to slow the fuck down again. And I understand this. When I have those being days, when I'm patient with myself, when I actually do my inner healing and sit there with myself and just let things flow, this is when my heart opens more. And this is when things flow in quicker and easier. And that's a fact. When I'm bullheaded, when I'm trying to get there too quickly, this actually slows me down and this makes me go into overwhelm. And when I'm going too fast with my purpose, say, I neglect the fact that I'm still on this healing journey. I forget that I still have to heal myself. I'm in such a rush to heal everyone else, such a rush to be of service. I need to be of service to myself as well. You know what I mean? I can't do everything if I don't do the things I need to do for myself. I need to heal my stuff as well. And I keep saying I'm so much further along, I'm stronger than I ever was. But it doesn't mean I'm finished doing the work internally. And we forget that. We think after certain awakenings or after certain dark nights of the soul that we're through it and that we're finished healing. I know we'll never be finished healing. I know that healing is an ongoing process. But because I've, done so much work so far, I think, right, I've done this and I have to do this now. I have to be productive. But we need to actually be nurturing while we're being productive. And I was doing this over the last couple of years. I was doing my healing and my career side by side. I was taking the baby steps in my career, but I was also being very mindful of my feelings, very mindful of my triggers, and very mindful of the fact that I was still on this healing journey. But because I've been in such a rush lately to move forward, I've been neglecting the fact that I still have so much to heal, that I still have so much that needs to be nurtured. And it was only because of the emotions I had this morning after my punishing and being so hard on myself, that when all the emotions come up, I was kind of actually relieved, because I was like, Jesus, I can actually take a little bit of time for myself. And, I'm still going to get the things done that I wanted to do. I'm just not going to be putting pressure on myself. And that's what the secret is. We can still be productive, but we don't have to be putting pressure on ourselves. And you see, like I'll be doing these courses and, I start comparing. I compare myself to the mentors, and I'm like, Jesus, they did it this way, I should be doing it their way, or I should have to, I have to do it this way. And then I end up overwhelming and I put pressure on myself and then put myself back into this box behind my walls. And I have to stop comparing myself to others. I'm on this healing journey my way. I'm doing it my way. That suits me, because I know when I go too heavy or go too quickly with stuff, I overwhelm. I burn out. And then that actually puts me back 10 steps, because I end up adding to the stuff that I've neglected to heal on top of all this burnout and all this stress. Whereas when I actually just nurture myself along while taking the baby steps needed to move forward, I move forward a hell of a lot quicker. I really do. But that's when my heart opens more, because we can't open our hearts if we're bottling up these triggers and emotions that we're avoiding healing because we want to be doing the thing that we're supposed to be doing. But we can't do the thing we're supposed to do with heart blocks, with triggers, with stuff that we keep avoiding healing. And that's what it is. Like, these triggers are so important. The triggers are our guides. Anytime we get these emotions, anytime any kind of past pain resurfaces, it is because it needs to be faced and refelt and re-released, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? We have, like, for me personally, and I believe we have to do this, we have to face our demons head on. We have to face our traumas head on so that we can actually finally release them. But because we are such bottlers, when the healing comes up, we put it back down, and we're like, oh, I already healed that, I got over that. But you didn't get over it. You literally avoided it. Like, when I started, like, when you start like a healing process, we distract. That's what we do at the start, and that's what we need to do, because we're in such pain, we're in such trauma, that we actually just need to nurture ourselves through it. So we end up watching comedies or self-care, self-nurturing, just to distract. That's the first step of healing. But that's a type of bottling as well. But we need to do that to make ourselves stronger for the next stage of healing. So we think because we feel better from that first phase, that we've healed it, but we haven't. It will come up again for us to face, for us to deal with, for us to actually, dig deep and heal it. And then we'll do that stage, and we'll get stronger for the next stage. But it will resurface over and over again until we were ready to release it once and for all. And so my biggest trauma from 10 years ago, that resurfaced in early May, because that was the 10-year anniversary of it. And I realised then I'd avoided even facing that over the last few years, because, it was my biggest trauma. I didn't want to feel it again. And actually, when I did face it again, it actually helped me uncover a lot of blocks and a lot of self-blame I had around it. So it was really beneficial. It was very, very hard, but it was really beneficial. And, for it to come up again today kind of bugged me. But at the same time, I know it's not going to be as hard this time, because I'm stronger. And I have to face it again to re-release it. And that's the thing, we have to stop, like I've done this, like when stuff has resurfaced, before I realised that we heal in layers, when stuff resurfaces, I'm like, fuck that, no, I healed that, I'm not fucking dealing with that again. And I'll get a bit bitchy about it, and I'll just bottle it up again, and I'll bury it again. Because I'd be like, thick with myself, or thick with the universe, or just in general, just angry, saying that I had to deal with that pain already, I'm not dealing with it again, it's over, I've done it. But that anger, that trigger, that is a proof that I actually do need to face it again, and that I do need to heal it again, that I do need to let it out. Because every time we avoid this healing, we are bottling. We are pushing that down, and it's like a pressure cooker. And then when we're avoiding this healing, and this pressure cooker is starting to over pressurize, we're also trying to bullhead towards our career and our life purpose. And that turns into a pressure cooker because we're moving too fast. So we've got 2 double pressure cookers ready to explode because we're avoiding our healing and we're running too fast into the direction that we want to go in. Whereas what we should be doing is taking a step back. Not taking a step back, but taking a pause. Taking a pause to face what is going on inside this internal pressure cooker, and to not let the external pressure cooker overpressurize either. You know what I mean? So we have 2 pressure cookers that we don't need to turn into pressure cookers, if you get me. So like what we do is face our healing as we go, do that healing as it comes up so that the pressure cooker doesn't turn into a pressure cooker. And then as we are patient with ourselves with the internal work, this will help us be more patient with ourselves with the external work. And then we can take the baby steps forward. And when there's no pressure on either side, this makes things a lot easier and things just flow. And that's the beauty of it. Things move quicker when we slow down. And I know that sounds weird, and it's very hard, especially as humans, because we're such busy bees. We have been led to believe that if you're not busy all the time, you're lazy, and you have to do stuff all the time. You have to have sleepless nights. You have to be stressed. You have to have no time to eat. You have to work 12 hours a day to get anywhere. This is not healthy. This is not healthy for your mind or body. This causes stress. And, that's the thing I've been feeling guilty about lately, is that I have been making sure that I, don't overdo it, that I get the right amount of sleep, that I don't put too much pressure on myself externally. But I also then end up comparing and thinking I should be 10 steps ahead, and then that does put pressure on me. I have to stop, comparing my journey to other people, but I'm not going to put that stress. I've worked those hours before. I worked 12-hour days in physical manual labor, and then I'd get no sleep at the weekend because I was partying. I did not look after my body, and this led to a lot of stress as well. So that's the reason I'm being so nurturing on my career path now, is because I know what it's like to overwhelm, and I know what that does to me. But I still do it. I still do it till the universe tells me, slow the fuck down. And as I said a few weeks ago, the universe slowed me down to a stop and then to a snail's pace. And then I sped up again. And it was only yesterday and today that I realised I was doing it again. I was rushing 10 steps ahead again because I was putting pressure on myself again to be further along. And it was only the reminder that I got this morning when my traumas from 10 years ago resurfaced. I was like, I'm not the person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the person I was a year ago or even 6 months ago. So when we actually look back and measure how far we've actually come, we're doing really well. We really are. We keep forgetting that. We keep forgetting how far we've come because we're so in a rush to be into the next 10 steps, to be further along. But just ask yourself, who were you, or what were you doing 6 months ago? How were you feeling 6 months ago? How are you feeling a year ago? How are you feeling 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? We've all been on this healing journey for a long time now. Mine is 2018, so it's over 6 years, nearly 7 years that I've been on this journey. But I have come so far in those years, and I punish myself for thinking I'm not where I should be. We're all exactly where we should be. You know what I mean? We're exactly where we're supposed to be for our own personal journey. You know, we have really done so much hard work, and that's what I was trying to tell myself as well. I have done so much internal healing, but I've also made so much big steps in my career as well. You know, and to punish myself for being in a low mood this morning, it's just like, no, I shouldn't be punishing myself for having a down day. We're human. And obviously I had stuff that I have stuff I need to heal, which, you know, which is fine. But I needed to have that resurface, all that pain resurface, for me to actually kind of step back and go, you know, well done. You know, I've done a lot more than I keep I keep forgetting it. And that's the thing, we keep forgetting how much we've already achieved because we want to be so much further along. This is not fair. We're not fair on ourselves. Like, we're thinking, oh, we need to be like that person. Oh, look what they did. That person might have had their own trauma or might have done their shit their way. But the pain that we've gone through prior to spiritual awakening and throughout our spiritual awakening, because of the healing we've done for the stuff that's happened before, you know, that's the achievement. That's the prize. That's what we should be rewarding ourselves for. You know, we have these goals and that's brilliant, but look at the stuff that we've gone through to get to where we are now. The pain we've experienced prior to our healing to get to where we are now. The healing we've done to overcome that trauma, to overcome that pain, to get to where we are now. Like, stop thinking about tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't promised. We are only living for today. The past is gone. We have this very moment. So ask yourself, not even ask yourself, look at yourself and see how far you have come to get to where you are right at this very moment. You are not the same person you were. You have overcome so many traumas, so much pain, so much hardship. Not only overcome it, but now you're healing from it. That deserves the medal. That's the achievement. You know, and be rewarding and celebrate you for this very moment. Then the next steps will follow easily. You're after doing so much already, and that's the beauty of it. Stop thinking about tomorrow right now. Think about how much you've achieved right now, because that's massive. That's huge. We keep having these anxieties about the next day, 10 years in the future. What am I going to... This is why we're stressed, and we're not getting to enjoy this present moment because we're stressed over 10 years. We're stressed over the next, 30 years. Think about today. Don't even think about tomorrow. Enjoy this precious moment. Because that's all we have. Life is short. You know, life is really short. We think we have all the time in the world. But in actual fact, all we have is right now. So be kind to yourself and be rewarding to yourself of what you've achieved so far. Stop thinking about what you've yet to achieve, because right now is all you have. And you have done so well to get yourself to where you are right now. That is the beauty. That is the magic. You have overcome so much pain, so much trauma, so much heartache to get to where you are right now. And softly, softly, catchy monkey, you will get to where you want to go if you're just patient and kind and nurturing to yourself. And if you do that inner healing alongside taking those baby steps forward. There is no rush. Slow and steady wins that race. It really does. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't overwhelm. Don't burn out. Do the inner healing. Listen to your triggers. And don't get angry and don't punish yourself. Don't do that, because I've done that and I keep doing it. We don't deserve that kind of punishment. We have done so much to get to where we are. We deserve reward and celebration because we've achieved so much. So be patient with yourself. Take those baby steps forward, but nurture yourself, nurture your heart. break down those walls, and the rest will flow very easily. Patience is the key, because you will get to where you want to be if you just take the time to reward yourself and to be patient with your journey. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thanks again. Bye-bye.